collect and eat kickbacks. Sales take benefits. The finance secretly reported a few more accounts. Past. This may be a favor accident in the company, but from today, this could be considered a criminal offense. Maybe go to jail. May 1st. A new regulation was officially implemented. The name is long. There are also many provisions. Most people swipe away. I feel that it has nothing to do with me, but this time it really matters. Many unspoken rules of the past. It has all become a high-voltage line. What exactly does it prescribe? How will it affect the business world? This video, let's look at them one by one. Of course, to make you understand better, it is inevitable that there will be some simplification. If you have a more professional edition, communication in the comment area is also welcome. 1. Corruption in private enterprises and corruption in officials are the same. The core of the impact of the new regulations on the business world. Article 8. In the vernacular, it is, in the future, corruption and crimes in private enterprises. The punishment will be heavier. Refer to the standard for crimes in public office. For example, the procurement director retracted the crime of accepting bribes. The crime of selling benefits to customers is the crime of bribery. Over-reimbursement of travel expenses and hospitality expenses is against the crime of embezzlement. This provision essentially breaks a boundary. In the past, many people had a line in their hearts. This side of the line is the company's business. For example, it is an unspoken rule to take rebates for procurement. The other side of the line is a matter of the country. For example, official corruption is a high-voltage line. Although they are all illegal, but the cost difference is huge. One can be big or small. One disposed of it and died, but it will be different later. The cost of entering the gray area, it will be significantly higher. Specifically, these are the 4. The crime of accepting bribes by non-state officials. The crime of bribery of non-state officials. Crime of embezzlement. The crime of misappropriation of funds. We love to say. 2. Receiving 30,000 kickbacks constitutes bribery. You are a purchaser. Which supplier gives you benefits? Who do you choose? You are sales. Which game gives you a kickback? Who do you give customers to? In short, who gives you benefits? You take care of whoever you want. This is called bribery by non-state officials. New regulations require. His punishment was carried out with reference to the crime of accepting bribes. The standard for the crime of accepting bribes is as follows. 3 numbers: 30,000, 200,000, 3 million. In addition, there are also 2 special provisions in the new regulations. On the whole, means at least 3 changes. 1. The threshold for crime has been greatly reduced. Purchasing manager Lao Li. 5,000 shopping cards were collected during the Chinese New Year. The Mid-Autumn Festival received a 3,000 yuan mooncake coupon. At the end of the year, he took a 3-day trip to Hainan worth 25,000 yuan. This is no longer a favor, but sin, because 5,000 plus 3,000 plus 25,000 equal to 33,000 exceeded the threshold of 30,000 yuan. 2. Equity. It is also considered a bribe. The Boss Dia Luo has a way to bind big customers. Give the dry stock. I don't give you money directly. I'll share the money with you. But in the future, this is also considered a bribe. At the time of the incident, how much is this equity worth? Then subtract the cost that symbolized happiness at the beginning. The rest is the amount of bribes received. For example, the equity value is 2 million. Only 10,000 yuan was paid at the beginning. The amount benefited is 1.99 million. 3. The company collects money, but you are also a beneficiary. Project Director Xiao Zhu let the supplier and his wife open a consulting company. Signed a contract of 150,000 yuan, but this company doesn't provide any services. At this time, the law penetrates the contract. It was determined that this was a bribery in disguise. Of course, real cases don't just look at the amount. Lots of details. We won't expand on them one by one. In short, these scenarios, isn't it a bit familiar? Past. Many companies treat this as an ethical issue for their employees, but now it's a criminal matter. The boss's knowledge and acquiescence may set himself on fire. 3. A referral fee may result in a sentence. After saying that, he collected the money. Let's talk about giving money. You send money to customers. Let him close your accounts. This is bribery. Bribery regulations. Refer to the conviction and sentencing standards for the crime of bribery. The standard for the crime of bribery is as follows. 3 cumulative areas: 30,000, 1 million, 5 million. And in bribery, he also gambled on a classic evasion technique. This could lead to 2 changes. 1. The criminal threshold for bribery is also not high. An individual with a total of 30,000 yuan will enter the scope of prosecution. Many projects, a referral fee. You may cross this line. 2. Go to the public account. No longer a talisman. For example, sale Xiao Wang in order to win an order of 5 million. Purchase Xiao Li from the other party. Negotiate a promotion fee of 200,000 yuan. How to give a market research name. and Shaoli's consulting company signed a contract of 200,000 yuan. The accounts are clean. Invoices are readily available. But the question is not how to go to the account. Where does the money go in the end? As long as the money ultimately belongs to him, it will be determined that there will be a fee. So, if you find yourself in a corporate order, there are a lot of channel fees, promotion fee, consulting fee. You have to ask, what services do these money correspond to? Whose pocket did it end up in? 4. False reporting of travel expenses and hospitality expenses. There is a risk of criminal offense. This is called the crime of embezzlement. Simply put, it is to put money or things that belong to the company become your own. For example, falsely reported transportation and hospitality expenses. Department Manager Xiao Jiao, let your subordinates every month fill the invoice to the limit. After reimbursement, it will be transferred to him. A few months down, it's tens of thousands. For example, non-existent suppliers, and outsourcing. Marketing Director Dayang, give it to a friend's company every month. Pay the design outsourcing fee, but live. In fact, the company market does not do it. Another example is the assets that are disposed of. The company eliminated a batch of old computers. Xiao Qi, the administrative supervisor, is responsible for handling it. The recycling company gave 150,000 yuan. He reported to the company that it was only 50,000. Embezzled 100,000 yuan. A lot of similar small actions. You may not have thought it was a crime before. Even within the company, it is defaulted. But now, the punishment standard is directly benchmarked against the crime of embezzlement. 3 red lines: 30,000, 200,000, 3 million. The behavior of harvesting the company's wool in the past. From now on, it will be a criminal red line. 5. Use the company's capital turnover. The consequences are much worse than you think. The last one is the crime of misappropriation of funds. This crime usually occurs to people who have access to large amounts of money. For example, CFO partners, and even founders. They often think of themselves as temporary quits, turn it over and pay it back. But now the law has become very strict about borrowing. The standard of conviction and sentencing refers to the crime of embezzlement of public funds. Remember 3 numbers: 50,000, 2 million. 5 million. There are 2 additions to the new regulations that are worth noting. It means at least 3 changes. 1. The starting point is directly cut in half. In the past, the starting point for the crime of misappropriation of funds was 100,000 yuan. Now the crime of embezzlement has become 50,000. 2. The road to technical misappropriation is blocked. The CFO found a large amount of idle money on the book. It's too wasteful to only deposit in the bank, so he invested 5 million in the stock or futures market. But in the end, whether it is a profit or a loss, this already constitutes the crime of misappropriation of funds. 3. Not intentionally not returned. It's useless. You are helping your friend's company turn around. Spend 1 million yuan from the company's account. No money contract. Verbally agree on repayment. Once the other party can't get back, you constitute the crime of misappropriation of funds. Of course, the amount is for reference only. The determination of reality will be more complicated. But the public is the public. I am private. This sentence, after May 1st, with a new weight, regarding the specific content of the new regulations. That's all for now. This judicial interpretation. No new charges have been added. All charges have existed for a long time. Changed. Just measure it. Past. A ruler to measure corruption in private enterprises than measuring corruption in public office. Be much more relaxed. But loose. It means industry practices. Human accidents, meaning a huge fuzzy area. In the future, this ambiguous area will be greatly compressed. If you are a company manager, I have 3 suggestions. 1. Do a physical examination for corruption. Find a legal or legal advisor. Do a thorough risk investigation. The purchase flow sales contract. All related party transactions have been passed. Just because you don't know doesn't mean it didn't happen. 2. Build a firewall. Sign a linkage agreement with your supplier partner. Establish a gift declaration system. Receiving gifts over a certain amount must be registered. Establish a publicity system for related party transactions. Employee relatives are aware of shareholding in the upstream and downstream. Take the initiative to make it public. 3. Give a chance to confess. It's always better to make up for the dead than to sit still. Surrender, recovery, and burial can be repunished. The data of the Supreme People's Procuratorate shows since 2020, we have explored compliance rectification reform. 1,498 enterprises that have been rectified and complied with. 3,051 people made a decision not to prosecute. The essence of business is the exchange of value. The essence of corruption is a mismatch of risks. Risk mismatch is taking someone else's risk. Change your own benefits. Many people think this is a shortcut to success, but the new rules tell us this is a slippery slope to the abyss. After all, rule tolerance is regarded as ability. It is the most dangerous ring perception in the business world. Pay attention till you run. Lower the cognitive threshold of business.